country music fans out there. This is Leigh with Coda Country. And on this episode of Coda Country Chats today, we have another Aussie friend from down under. This is Brittany Maggs. How are you today, Brittany?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing so well. And I have to tell our listeners about our little time change snafu. Um, this episode is recorded the Wednesday after my time zone just experienced like a time change. And so I thought I had it all lined up where I'd have Brittany on the show, which is at like 5:30 my time. But I accidentally told her like an hour behind. And so I feel so sorry for bringing you on an hour later than expected, but I'm so glad that you were able to schedule me into your life, and I can't wait to hear more about you. So thank you so much for having this
Thank,
time for us.
thank you for having me. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, it's the morning here anyways, and literally the only thing I have to do today well, two things. I have to go into the studio and I have to ride my horse. So I'm like Thursdays for me are pretty flexible, luckily. So that's
That's
all.
so amazing. Well,
Yeah.
and okay, so like I'm going to touch on this now. You just said ride your horse. I mean, you are quintessential country girl, which is one of the reasons why I fell in love with Brittany Maggs was through Typical Country Girl, the song, the single that you released back in March 2023. Tell me a little bit about that song because it's one of my favorites that I've been bouncing around with, and then I'd love to hear more about, you know, the other releases that we have coming out and that we've heard recently after that.
Yeah, I mean, typical country girl kind of came from a place where I would do interviews and I would do, radio, all that type of thing, and everyone would be like, "Are you country? Like, what type of country are you?" Because obviously I came
Mm-hmm.
from a pop background, but about me, I started my whole music thing in the country space. Um,
Wow.
Fast forward a couple years, I went to
Mm-hmm.
LA for 4 years, back and forth, and they were like, "No, you can't be country. You need to be pop." And when you're 15 years old and you have people telling you you need to be something,
Mm-hmm.
you listen. And I hated
Yeah.
it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I really disliked it. It wasn't. I knew that it wasn't me, so I was like, I don't know, I don't know what to do. Came back, did the country thing, and every time I do an interview, it was, "But you have all this in your background." Sorry, my dog's going psycho right now. I don't know if you
No, it's not very loud, so maybe
going
they're just trying to join in.
crazy. I don't know. Sorry.
No, that is okay.
Where was I? I might text.
Um,
I'll text Alex quickly. Sorry, 1 second.
you are fine. We'll talk about Alex on the episode too, so that's okay. I love it. Very cool.
Can you please go
What kind
get?
of dogs?
Oh, I've got dogs. Anyways,
Oh
where was I?
yes. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
burritos. Oh my God, sorry. I'm sorry. It's driving me wild.
They're throwing you off. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's throwing me off. A typical country girl. Yeah. So basically, I wrote it because I was or not sick of, but I was over having to constantly be like, well, I am country just because I may not look it. If you knew my
Mhm.
day to day life, if you knew what I grew up, not even my day to day, like where my heart kind of lies,
Yeah.
then you'll understand. So I started playing around with this idea of like, I'm not your typical country girl. I like my
Mhm.
diamonds. I like all that fancy stuff. I love shopping. Like, but that doesn't
Mhm.
make me any less country than
Yeah.
the next person. And I even have in my band, like, I have like a real cowboy, and we always joke because he's like, "Oh yeah," country. I'm like, no, but I like just because when you look at me on a stage, I may not look
Mhm.
it. That's because I'm a performer. My heart,
Yeah.
like I'm a performer. I'm gonna go on stage dressed to the nines. I'm gonna make sure that I look glitz and glamorous because that's how I want to position myself as an artist, and
Yeah.
that type of thing. So that's kind of how I wrote Typical Country Girl. And the whole music video for that was funny because I did like, I rode around on the 4x4s and rode the horses and all that type of stuff in like a puffy dress and like diamond boots, and just to like
Yeah.
play around with that juxtaposition. Like I love really, sounds bad, but I love annoying that percentage that are like, this isn't country. It's like, well, I'm gonna annoy you now. I'm gonna sing my country song dressed in a puffy dress and pink boots, and I'm going to dye my hair pink at the time, and I'm just going to just do everything that shouldn't be done, but still show you, hey, no, like this can be done. It doesn't matter what you are, like who you are. It doesn't matter any of that. So that's where Typical Country Girl comes from. There's a bigger meaning behind the song, but yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's an incredible way to show all the people that are naysayers almost to, this is who you are, and they're gonna like it, and I like it, so I mean that is
Well,
that's why I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it was funny. I did a gig on Sunday, and this like old guy dressed up in like looked like a cowboy type of thing, right? He's quite old, and he comes up to me, and I always get nervous when the older people come up because I understand that my music probably doesn't sit in their world. They probably don't like it, And he comes up,
yeah,
got the most stern looking face, like this. I'm like, oh, what am I about to be told? And he goes, I'm an old man and I'm set in my way. Like he was like, he sounded American, and he's like, yeah, he was like just complete cowboy to me. And I was like, what's next? And he's like, but I loved that. And I love your music. Keep going. And I was just like, oh, thank you. I was fully prepared to be like, told off. And that was just so nice.
Oh, isn't that such a treat though when fans come up and they just tell you how much they enjoy what you do, and just I'm sure that you've had other encounters like that too, where you've had fans that just like absolutely gawk at how much they love what you do. How often, like, once you have shows, do you go out into the audience and kind of meet, greet, anything like that?
I make that the main part of my shows is like the audience, because like,
wow,
I wouldn't be on the stage if the audience wasn't there.
Weren't there.
So, like, even when I'm on the stage, like I'm really big. Sometimes I'm too big on it. Like interacting with my audience, like I'll be like, jump on my mic, and I like put my mic down and I have someone sing like a line or a verse, and I'll have my manager be like, Brittany, stop doing that so much. And it's just like I love like I have ADHD. I can't sit still. I don't know if you can tell. That's why I sit on a swivel chair. Like I get these overload of feelings I just want to share with everybody. So I'm like, well, if I'm on a stage singing, like, heck, you'll probably never sing in your life on a stage, like, so here's a microphone, sing. And like I just love doing that. And then I always say throughout my shows, like, when this is done, like I'll be over at the merch, like please come. Like not even to get them to buy anything, like I have posters that I give away for free, and 9 times out of 10 I'll always end up giving my stuff away because I'll be like, here, I like you, take this. And like my whole favorite part of performing is meeting everybody after and having conversations and talking and getting a feel of what they thought of the show, because it's always, I don't know, it's for sure my favorite part. I make sure that every show I do, I go out afterwards and I talk to everybody, and I try to talk to everybody. And yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's such an awesome thing to do, because I know, it's got to be a little daunting at times to talk to that many people, but how incredible that you take the time to do that. I mean, that's definitely very meaningful. Yeah. Well, we talked a little bit about Typical Country Girl. You also had a duet with Alex, your partner, who I had on the show recently, and I just think that is the sweetest little song. Oh my gosh. How did you guys work together on that song? Did you write it together? Did you just work and produce it in the studio together? How did that work?
Yeah, so everything changed. Literally, it's just a project between the two of us. Like, it's only him and I on the whole track. Like, we wanted to make it, if we're going to be releasing something about us, we need to write it from our point of view. And I think it was like 11 o'clock at night one night, and I had just bought a brand new guitar, and he was playing it, and he kept playing this like, not riff, he just kept playing this lick like over and over and over. And I was like, oh, this sounds really nice. Like, and we started kind of just playing around with the idea, and then I started writing the chorus. And I said to him, I was like, how cool would it be if you and I wrote a song about us and we released it together? I'm like, why not? Like, we have the studio, we have it all, we can do it all ourselves. We won't even have to cost any of us a dime. Let's just put it out into the world. And then we were like, okay, let's do it. And we wrote it that night we live in a little tiny home. Like, this is my parents' house, and we live across the yard in a tiny home.
Oh,
And our tiny home,
yay! That's awesome.
it's so small. Like, it is a genuine tiny home. Like, it's small. But we sat in there, I think, till like 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock, and we just wrote the song together. And it wrote so easy. Like, we just kind of wanted to tell our story. And then we both went to our managements, and we were like, hey, we have this song. I think it could be really cool. We'd love to release it. And they were like, we love this song. Yes, you need to release it. So we did it all
Aw.
too, and it's a special track. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. It really is one of those songs that just is. It's like the perfect picture. It really does paint such a perfect picture of your relationship. So, thank you for sharing that song. Oh my gosh!
No,
Tell me now. I got you at a good time because I feel like we're right on the cusp of you releasing your next single, which is called "This Town." Tell me all about that song because I haven't heard any sneak peeks. I have pre-saved it, I will say. So I want to know even more about "This Town."
yeah. Well, thank you for free saving.
Of
This
course.
comes out tomorrow for me. Actually,
Tomorrow for
not
you, yeah.
night, like midnight. So, and I wrote it in. I went to Nashville for the first ever time. I've been to the States more times than I can count, and I had just never had made it over to Nashville. And I'm lucky enough that obviously Alex is in country music, and he's like, "Hey, like, let's just go. Why not? Like, what have we got to waste?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, why not? Like, we'll just book it." We saved up, and then I was over there, and I was doing, writing session, and all the songs were incredible. I love them all. Like, one day all of them will be on my EP. But I got into a session with a guy named Troy Kemp, who is an Aussie act, and he's from Macalester, Kemp, but he lives over in Nashville. And I said to him, like, hey, because I opened for them last year. Last year I opened for them when they were here. I was like, hey, like,
Wow.
do you want to get in the studio? Let's do a write. And we sat down and he's like, what do you want to write about? And I was like, well, if I'm going to be honest, like, when I first got to Nashville, like, I have bad travel anxiety. Like, it's a known thing. Like, I have the first 3 days of a trip for me, I would just like curl up in bed and cry my eyes out. I don't know what it is. I'm a bad traveler. I love traveling. I love it. I'm just a homebody and I love my home. I think it's because, like, when I leave my dogs, my horses, my parents, like my family,
Yeah.
I'm a homebody, love my family. And I said to Troy, I was like, I came here and the first 3 days I was just so in my own little anxious bubble. I couldn't see how good this place was. And, I literally cried every night to Alex. Like, I'd just be standing in the shower and I'd just start crying. And he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it just happens. And, but I said, like, I'm starting to realize, like, this place is so much fun. Like, I love it here. And, I've only got now at this point, like, I think I had like 5 days left. I was like, I've spent majority of it crying after my writing. I was like, I wish I realized how much fun I'm having here. And, I said, oh, this town, like, it's growing on me. And he goes, that's it. That's what we're going to write about. This town is growing on you. And, we kind of started on the story of me in Nashville. Like, the first line is, I touched down in Music City, 24 hours, don't look so pretty. Because I had been traveling 24, I think at that point it was 26 hours. And
oh my gosh.
went to the hotel, and one of my friends who was there texted me, said, hey, come to dinner. So got changed and went straight to dinner. And like, it just tells the funnest story. And then, the choruses are fun because, like, every night, even though, I'd spend the days like writing and then go home cry, but the night times like 3 o'clock in the morning and making the best memories. And Broadway was something I had never seen in my life. I've never seen anything like that. Like, you don't get that in Sydney. Yeah, where I'm from, like, there is nothing even close to that. Like, the party life, like, I remember standing on top of Jason Aldean's and looking down and going, I've never seen this many people, like, ever. And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going, what do you all do? Like, how do you party so late? Like be up for 5 hours for a ride. Like, it was just mind blowing to me that a town could be like that day in, day out. Like, we walked Broadway, I think at 10 a.m. and it was full. I'm going, like, what is happening? Like, I've never seen it. that's where this town came from. And it's such a fun song. And, I just wanted to bring in that element of the fun. And, we had the guitars done by Soul, who does guitars for Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, like literally everybody.
Wow.
Every song you can think of, he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this because every song I'll listen to, Alex will be like, Soul did this. Soul did this. I'm like, what hasn't he done? Like, he's amazing. He's incredible. So I was lucky enough to get him on the track. We got live drums. I just wanted to bring that Nashville feel to it. So I'm so excited for it to come out.
Yeah, I'm even more excited about it now because I just heard you tell that story. I mean, that is so awesome. I can't wait to hear all the sounds that come from that song. So
And
tell me, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Alex too. So like it's all still once again done so personal, and like all my songs are like have that personal element to it, and I really love the fact that I get to write them and be a part of them.
That's what one of my next questions was going to be. How often do you do, or have you done a ton of like co-writing sessions? Because I know you were just talking about the co-writes that you did while you were in Nashville. Do you do a lot of co-writes while you're home in Sydney?
Not as many as I'd like. Because I'm in Sydney, but I'm just out of Sydney. It's hard. A lot of people don't travel. And like, I mean, I love it here. And this isn't me speaking bad about anything, but everybody really likes to work on their own project. Nobody wants to really work on others. And that's just the thing here. It's very rare that you'll get a co-write for yourself. But I mean, I get like Alex and I write together all the time, like all the time. I know how he works. He knows how I work. And that's literally where my best songs come from.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to come over to Nashville in February so I can do some more co-writes because I just find, I don't know, the vibe is so much fun. Like everyone really wants to help you there. But yeah, I don't get as many co-writes here as I'd like. And Zoom co-writes aren't really a thing. Like I like to be in the room with somebody. Like I love feeling the vibe. And when there's a computer there and we're co-writing, it's really easy for me, like being ADHD, to like slip off, have my mind go somewhere else. Like, so yeah.
I completely get that though. And I feel like I don't want to say come up with ideas better in person, but I feel like there is an authenticity that comes with like being in person and being with someone when you're writing with them, so I'm sure, and that's probably why you and Alex write so well together, not only because you're partners, but because you're also in the same proximity with each other. You can bounce ideas off easier,
Well, I mean, it works well because I write a lot of my hooks. I'll write when I'm driving my car. So I'll be driving along and I think of something, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then I'll like call Alex and I'm like, quick, write this down or get a track ready. I'll be home in like, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is. But I think like songwriting is such a vulnerable thing. Like it is such a, even if you're writing about something that's so fun, like you still have to put your own personal elements to it. And, you want to be in the room. You want to be able to get vulnerable with people and you can't really get too vulnerable over Zoom. I don't know. That's my personal. I know a lot of people it works for, but for me personally, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to let me know how those writes go whenever you go back to Nashville. Because like I said, I feel like the songs that you write with Alex by yourself, I mean, they're still really great. And so I know, however your next couple writes go, I'm sure they're going to be great too.
Yeah.
Tell me, I know talking about like going to Nashville a couple times, and you wrote a whole song about it. So you caught the vibe, as we say, right? How many, have you done any shows like in America or in Nashville or anything like that? Like any live shows there?
I was gonna say no, but I did. It wasn't a show. Like I did like the showcases. It was with Bolos and Booze in Nashville, and it was so much fun because I got up on the stage as one of the songwriters, and I was the only Aussie. I think I was the only girl. And I was like,
cool.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm Brittany from Australia, and then I got up and played for them I played Typical Country Girl, and they're all like, "This is really cool." I'm like, "Thanks, guys." And I played 3 songs. In terms of shows, no. When I was over in LA, it was like it was a really toxic environment.
Yeah, I get that.
Like when you're, as I said, when you're 15, you have people telling you need to, 1, look a certain way, 2, act a certain way, and 3, sound a certain way. You lose yourself. You're 15 years old and you have these, like, I was working with really high up people, like people that I had never even dreamed of working with. And so they're telling me I need to look like this, and they've just created Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber. Like, when you have those people, that's what you're going to do. You're going to listen. And we always were prepared to do shows and all this, but I just knew in my heart that it wasn't right. And I remember one day crying to my mum and saying, "Mum, like, I just want to go home. I just need to be at home and I need to figure out who I am." I said, because I'm not this artist. Like, like I had black hair. I was beyond skinny. Like, I weighed next to nothing. Like, you could see all my bones. I'm like, this isn't me. Like, I never had any time to ride horses, and that was like one of my things. When I was over there, it was like, I at least want to be taken to because I couldn't drive. I at least want to go out to a stables at least once a week just to keep part of myself, and like that couldn't happen. I wasn't allowed days off. I wasn't, like, allowed to eat even. And it
Oh my
was
gosh.
it was just wild. And so when it came time for me to be able to, hey, like, we have all these shows, maybe you can jump on and you can sing on them, I was like, yeah, no, I'm going back home. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, like, I'm going to go home. And then that was a whole thing in itself, because just giving up this massive opportunity. Like, I had contracts there, and I was like, nah. And then I came home and basically just rebooted myself and became me. And now, like, there's no element of me that is an act. Like, I'm 100% me on and off the stage, and I love it. I don't feel drained anymore.
Oh, I love that for you, because that is such a powerful thing, to just kind of be able to step back and be like, this is not what I really want. And I'm sure that, that made a lot of people kind of sit back in their chair and, I don't know, shake their heads a little bit. But good for you for standing up for yourself and just being like, I want to be authentically me. Like, that's kudos to you. And
I went back to LA last year and met up with some of the people that I have been working with, just to kind of be like, hey, like, I'm still doing this, but I'm doing it the way I want to do it. And I had a meeting with one of them, and he's like, yeah, I remember you turned me down. Like, I remember thinking, like, basically, what an idiot. And I was like, literally, like, he said to me, he's like, you could have been this. And I said, yeah, but I wouldn't have been happy. I would have got to 21, I would have been burnt out. What fun is that? Like, and he was like, like, I'm proud of you. I was like, thank you. Like, that meant a lot to have someone to say, like, I'm proud of you. Like, that was a good idea. Good job. I was like, okay, cool. I did do the right thing.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. And I know, like, it's almost too, maybe even like a, yes, I did that. I did that for me. And exactly. Pat on the back. That's right. Oh my gosh. So cool. Well, tell me, okay, I've never been to Australia. If there was something that, like, I absolutely had to come see in Sydney or, in another surrounding city, tell me, where should I start?
I actually had this conversation with Alex on Monday, because we flew into a city that I really just don't even like, and I was like, who would ever come here? But you should definitely just come to, like, Sydney City, because you got to see, like, it's like the typical, but you got to see, like, the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge.
Beautiful.
I don't think you need that many days in Sydney. Like, you can do it.
Good to know.
You can do it in, like, I'd say, like plan like 5 days in Sydney, stay in the city, and that way, like, you can go to, like, all of our beaches, like Bondi Beach. It's so overrated. Bondi Beach, it's like like Manly Beach is nice, but there's, like, they're the two, like, in my opinion, ugliest beaches that we have. If you go
oh my gosh, okay.
Down south, 2 hours even out of Sydney. The beaches are like the crystal blue waters with, like, the white sand. So yeah, I'd, like, do 5 days, like, go to Taronga Zoo. And then I'd, like, personally, like, I wouldn't do the other half of Australia. Like, I'd probably stay like this side. And then I'd go like Gold Coast and Cairns
Cool.
because they've got like the Great Barrier Reef. They've
Yeah.
got the beaches. I mean, once again, they're really not as good. But like you have to see it. Like, I mean, I love Australia and I love my home, but I don't live like in Sydney. I live out on property and I love it here. Like, it's like my little town. It's like the nicest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
like you have to come see Sydney, like Australia, I guess, at one point. Like
Yes,
it is
totally.
just come in summer, not in winter.
Okay, so wait, so right now, it's what we have fall right now. So is it what season is it for you there?
We're in spring right now, but it feels like our
Spring.
summer. So normally our springs,
Mm,
I don't know what Fahrenheit is, but we sit in like the 20s, 21s, which is really nice.
mhm. Yeah.
Kind of like your spring weather would be, like that really
Yeah,
nice
yeah, yeah.
sun's out, but it's not hot. And like now
Mhm.
we're seeing it like we're getting like 37-degree days, and like we're having
Oh.
fires across all of Australia because it's
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
no one was prepared for it. So our summer this year is going to be wild. Like I'm pretty sure 110 for you guys.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That is
Yeah,
high.
yeah,
Whew.
it's really hot, and like so, but like spring's beautiful because all the trees are gorgeous, and like
Mhm.
all the trees are bright and colorful. And in summer, I mean, it gets too hot. Like our February is disgustingly hot. Our
So it's a
February,
good time to come to Nashville. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Makes sense.
well, I don't know because everyone I talk to is like, you realize it's going to be absolutely freezing there, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go from one extreme to the other.
It might be. It really like it just depends because I would say like this time in no, not this time. February this year was covered in like 10 inches of snow, but then like the February before wasn't that bad. So it really just depends. You may luck up and get a good little sprint of time there. Who knows?
I want to see snow, so I'm not going to complain. I just don't know how I pull my warm clothes into a suitcase because warm clothes take up so much room. So that's why I say come to Australia in summer because then you literally only need like a pair of shorts, a couple of
Mhm.
bikinis, and a t-shirt. Like you can, and nobody cares here. You can walk around in like we call them footy shorts. I don't know what like you guys would call them. Like you just walk around like dags. Do you know what a dag is? Like you look daggy.
No, what's a tag? Oh my gosh.
Like like I'm trying to think of what would be the clothes, like a bum too, like dressed like a bum. Do you know what that means?
Okay, yes, yes. Uh-huh. Mhm.
Okay, so everyone kind of
Yeah.
dresses like that, but like really just casual. No one cares. Like no one cares.
Yeah, okay. But they call that dag.
Yeah, like
Let me
daggy,
get
like
this right.
that.
Daggies.
Yeah,
Okay,
like dress
daggy.
like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's funny.
So
Oh,
funny.
I
That
love
is,
this new slang.
yeah, it's so funny. Like all the different things. Like we were in Arizona and Alex's team, the things they were saying, I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like we wanted to like do a U-turn and they called it like some other thing and I was like, wait, what? So now Alex and I, we do a U-turn, we say that, but it's rude, so I won't say it. But like it's I just think it's so fun how like every place has their own little thing.
It's so true. Like I'm learning so much about you right now because I'm finally getting a chance to talk to you and learn all the things. That's so cool though. Well, going back to packing your suitcase, I'm gonna bring attention to the accessory wall that's behind you because I talked about it before we started. Look at those boots. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Well,
so tell me if you were to, and I know we kind of talked about this too, like where you get really dolled up to do a performance. What's your go-to like attire to wear on your day off? Like how do you normally dress?
my
Yeah.
pants, tracksuit pants, and just like a shirt. You'll very rarely find me with makeup on my days off.
Mhm.
Hence, like I got no makeup on now. Um, or you'll just find me in literal like horse clothes, like 24/7. Like I'll be in
Yeah.
my riding gear because I'll like go out see my horse and spend a couple hours out with him. And then by the time I come back, I can't be bothered to get changed. So I'll probably just spend the whole day in my clothes and then get changed and put on my pajamas and go to bed. Like I'm like normally, I'm dressed like a dag. I'm just
perfect context.
Yeah, you would have looked twice if you saw me walking around. Like you'd be like, whatever. But when I'm on stage,
so funny.
All kicks into gear.
Decked out, dressed to the nines. I love to know that, though. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. It's so funny to hear little tidbits like that. Yeah. Tell me, we've been talking a while. So I tell you what, I hate to cut this. What I feel short. I feel like we've been talking forever, but we're new besties. Like I feel like we're best friends now. Before we hop off the call today, is there anything else that you'd like to promote, like your socials, or maybe anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if everyone just wants to follow me, my social medias are just Brittany Maggs, and that's across all socials. Some things might have an underscore at the end, but you know, just find the one that looks like me. I'm there. And also, if you follow me on Instagram, I have it in my bio, like a link, so it takes you to everything that I have, like my YouTube and all that. And yeah, I mean, if anyone watching this that's from Nashville that would love to do a co-write, I would absolutely love to. You know, I want to write with as many people as possible. Next year, I want to release. We have an aim to release a song every 3 weeks. So wow. I need a boatload of content. I think we're doing 1 month where we release every single Friday. So
awesome. Oh my gosh.
My project, I'd absolutely love to have people come on my project and write with me. And yeah, if I'm happy to do Zooms with anybody. I can do them. I just
would rather, yes.
Yeah, if it so works out that it needs to be a Zoom run, like please hit me up on socials and I would absolutely love to.
Oh my gosh. You have been an absolute joy to talk to today. So I'm so glad that this worked out. Listeners out there, make sure that you tune in to Brittany Maggs and her social media. Make sure that you check out This Town that drops on November I think it's 10th for me. So midnight tonight for you. Congratulations on your new single. And you heard it here with Coda Country. Of course. Have a good day.
Thank you.